Wattpad story that I read at least head in this direction, please.
Previously on Sunday Funday
Was called For His Pleasure. This one's called Love Hunter, a Hunter Rowland fan fiction.
this week on Sunday Funday.
Next story is called My Boyfriend, Andrew Fontenot. Howdy. What we're gonna read is called Bad Boys Game. So, quick little story time. I actually met Andrew not too long ago. I work at this restaurant, right, in downtown Dallas. It was, you know, I was doing my little thing, and I had walked past this guy, and I was like, man, he really looks like Andrew, you know, Andrew Fontenot. You know, the more and more I started to look at him, I was like, hey, yo, what are the fucking odds that he's actually in my restaurant? Like, I used to geek the fuck out over this man. I used to watch him go live every night. Back to the story. But basically, I kept walking by the table trying to get a good look at him. I was like, bro, what are the actual fucking odds? And then I got like a perfect view of his face. I was like, oh my fucking God, that's him. So I went over to his table and I was like, are you Andrew Fontenot? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I used to watch you go live on YouNow all the time, and I was a huge fan of you. Sitting at the table, he was with his friends, and I just walked up, and I wasn't even serving his table. It was my friend who was serving his table because his friend was friends with Andrew. It's weird. But I walked up to the table, and I just basically told him how big a fan I was, and he gave me a Snapchat, and we started talking a little bit, and now we're cool. Like, we're homies. I'm just like, I was thinking, I was like, what are the actual fucking odds that it's him? And it was him. Oh my gosh. He was like, yeah, I come to Dallas pretty often, and me and Gabe, we're still homies, we're still cool. And I was like, are you still cool with Tristan? He was one of the other people who was in the group. And they're like, yeah, we're still cool with Tristan. A Bad Boys Game. So basically, there's this girl. She goes to this school. Her name is Elliot, something like that. And she goes to this school with this bad boy. His name is Archer West. He's your typical Wattpad bad boy. He, you know, has a motorcycle. He wears all black. He's a player. You know, all the girls, you know, hate him and love him at the same time. Like, he's that type of dude. Ellie has this awful ex that cheated on her with her cousin, which is so fucked up. Out of all the people you could have cheated on me with, you cheated on me with my cousin. How you gonna do that? Went back on his word with like a promise that they made, and she wants, Archer wants to get him back like Ellie wants to, you know, make him feel pain or make him jealous. So they're like, okay, let's play a game. And in the process of the game, we can make my ex jealous. You can get what you want, which is whatever he gets out of making him jealous. And basically, we're gonna play a game, a bet. Right. And they were like, we're gonna fake date for 3 months, and whoever says I love you at the end of the 3 months loses. Now, if Archer won, I don't know what he would have got if he would have won. But Ellie, if she would have won, Archer would have had to give up the smoking, the drinking, and his player ways. Now, yes, he's one of those type of bad boys on Wattpad, which it seems like every boy on Wattpad is that type of boy. The story. Yeah? Okay. This picture's so fucking old. This picture was when he was like a teenager. Oh my God, I want to send this to him. I'm gonna put it on the screen. The perfect date, and it has 1.5K reads, 26 stars. I don't know what the stars mean, and 10 comments. I think that's what it is. Vanna, POV. As I was sitting in my room thinking of what to wear for my date with Andrew, question mark. I can tell this is not going to be punctuated right, and it's going to fuck me up whenever I'm reading. I just chose my joggers, black shirt, and my fedora. Who the fuck wears a fedora? Girl, get... Look, nothing against fedoras, but if you ever see me wearing a fedora, just go ahead and smack the shit out of me, because what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm clearly not making the right fashion choices. As I hear my dad answer the door, I hear Andrew's voice. Andrew, hello, sir. Father, hello, come in. Andrew comes in and sees me walking out and smiles. Vanna, hey. Andrew, hey, beautiful. Oh God, okay. Father, doesn't matter what time, just make sure you don't wake up her mom. What do you mean? Okay, we'll talk about that later. Andrew, okay, sounds good. Andrew's POV. As I walked in and saw her walk out, I smiled. She looked gorgeous. In a fedora though? This one is more of an honorable mention, and I just want to read it because it's a great story and you should definitely go and read it. So the first chapter is called Let's Play a Game. Sweet talk me. I frown a bit at the sudden statement, looking up from the tinted red diner cups. I find myself staring into hazel eyes with the prettiest flecks of amber. Eyes were the same hazel color that any girl could manage to fall for. However, I knew that it would take more than pretty eyes to have me swooning. I sure hope so. I really do. This story is actually really well written. I like it. I think it's went through like many like rewrites and many changes, but it's definitely written pretty well. The description of the story is so good. Like it gives you a little bit, but like not too much. And I feel like with any type of media nowadays, if they give you like a little sneak peek, they either give you everything on a silver platter, like with trailers, like movie trailers and TV show trailers, they either give you everything or nothing. Like I remember yesterday I was watching a movie trailer for like this Christmas thing that they're doing on, I think, Apple TV, something like that, and it gave me nothing. Like literally I was watching the trailer and I was like, that didn't tell me anything about the show. I literally just watched Santa Claus and a ghost of Christmas past just like fly around on the screen. Like what was that? I watched another trailer for another Christmas thing and they gave me everything on a silver platter, which I did not like. Hard to do when there's absolutely nothing sweet about you to talk about, I reply in my most monotonous tone. Not a fan of charismatic lines made for hopelessly vulnerable girls. Good. So let's get going. Andrew, okay, after you. When we left, I held her door open and she got in. Then I got in. Vanna, so where are we going? Andrew, it's a surprise. So I blindfolded her and drove to our destination. I'm not letting no motherfucker blindfold me, because what are you doing? I get it if you want to keep it a surprise, but why are you blindfolding me? I think that's just my lack of trust. I mean, it's not like lack of trust, but it's just like, why the fuck are you blindfolding me? You could at least just say I'm not gonna tell you and then just like leave my eyes open. What the? Letting anybody blindfold me. That's the point of what I'm trying to get across. Vanna POV. He blindfolded me and we drove to our destination, and the next thing I heard was waiter, hi, welcome to Chili's. It was like an ongoing joke. Whenever he would broadcast, he would just say out of nowhere, he'd be like, hi, welcome to Chili's. Mr. Hazel Eyes gives me a cold laugh, almost out of courtesy and obviously forced out. Archer West, the owner of the Eyes, is quite something, and yet I can't decide if he's something I want to run away from or verbally battle. He's a unique guy, notorious for his lethal charisma and expensive habits. Archer West is a risk. One that a certain girl is unsure about indulging in. It's quite the character. The definition of bad. He's far worse than the average badass that simply rides a beaten up motorcycle. In fact, he even puts the ass in badass. Wouldn't that be a good thing though? Because like badass is like, you know, I'm no judge of character. It's okay. Archer makes me want to move my ass 10 miles away from his ass, his presence. Wait, no, run that back. At that moment, I smiled because I love Chili's. Chili's is actually bomb though. Low-key underrated. I'm gonna hold you. Andrew, why do I keep saying it as if there's an exclamation point after everything? I think I'm just trying to get my footing, and then that's how I get my footing. But there's not that many exclamation points. There are, but not that many. Andrew, table for two. He then took off the blindfold and we were escorted to our table. So you telling me the waiter didn't have no kind of questions to why you walked in here with a girl while she was blindfolded? It's a little concerning. If I was a waiter, well, which I am, but if someone walked into my restaurant with a person and they were blindfolded, I would definitely have some questions. Most definitely. Like, hey, yo. Waiter, so what will you be having? You ain't even giving them a chance to look over the menu. You ain't go get no waters. I'm sorry, this is the waiter and me just critiquing everything. You ain't get no waters. You ain't get no, you ain't say your name. Nothing. Oh my God. Rookie mistake. I say that like I didn't start waiting tables like 2 months ago. Andrew, I'll take some lemon water. You can order whatever you want, baby. You can order whatever you want, baby girl. Once again, language is very accurate. He used to say this all the time. Archer makes me want to move my ass 10 miles away from his ass. His presence unsettling. Let's read that all in one swoop. He's far worse than the average badass that simply rides a beaten up motorcycle. In fact, he even puts the ass in badass. Archer makes me want to move my ass 10 miles away from his ass. Honestly, let's just put a counter up of how many times that I said ass in that one sitting. Oh, I just did it again. His presence unsettling and causing a sense of discomfort to arise. Sweet talk me, he says once more, the words coming out more as a controlling demand. Excuse me? A demand he doesn't even bother to say the word please with. I mean, if it's a demand, you usually don't say please with it, especially coming from, and you know what, once again, no judge your character, go ahead. I say nothing for a matter of seconds, contemplating a good comeback before I find myself whispering apple pie, red velvet, cheesecake, cannoli, creme brulee. I feel a hand pressed against my mouth before I have the chance to say flan. One of my personal favorite dessert dishes to ever exist. I never had flan. Is it good? Vana, I'll have lemon water and a menu. Nigga, you ain't even give them. You ain't even give them menus? What's going on? Please. Why do I have to ask for water and a menu? Angie's POV. I ordered some lemon water and told her she could order whatever she wanted. I couldn't stop staring at her beautiful eyes. I could get lost in them forever. So after we finished eating, I took her back to my place to watch Netflix. Oh Lord, why do I see where this is going? Why does every Wattpad story that I read at least head in this direction? Please. My comeback, obviously not what he was wanting to hear. I mean, clearly. Haha, very funny, Gray. He says, however, he's not laughing. He's devilishly handsome face, not at all amused. So you think he's handsome? Is and good looking. I shit you not, that's actually what it says. He is, I think they meant to say, he is indeed good looking. Archer West is devilishly good looking, although he is quite possibly the hugest asshole of this decade. And yet I must say, he is bestowed with good looks that any man is to be jealous of. The whole dark hair and hazel eyes combination that he accessorizes with a cigarette has almost every girl swooning. The key word is almost, as in he couldn't possibly have me in a lovesick trance. Let's get one fact straight. She doesn't even know this man. She literally just knows that this man goes to school with her and maybe he's dogged out a couple girls. She doesn't know him like hardly at all. She just knows what she hears. Literally. Let's start there. Vana POV. After dinner, he took me back to his place to watch Netflix. We were up for hours, then he left to get some whipped cream and gummy bears. Look, he's not kind of hard, not gonna lie, I might try it. But I started to get sleepy. Andrew, I'm back. Vana, cool. Andrew, are you tired? Vana, a little. Andrew, want me to take you home? Vana, no, I'm going to tell my dad I'm staying the night. Andrew, okay. So then I texted my dad and asked if I could stay the night, and he said yes. Andrew's POV. After her dad said she could stay me and her cuddled together in my bed watching Netflix while eating whipped cream and gummy bears. She fell asleep, so I put everything away and kissed her on her forehead. Then we both went to sleep. Arthur, OMG, sorry for it being boring. Just wait until next chapter. That's when it will get interesting. What are we talking? He uncovers my mouth and I reveal an unsatisfied look. One even a high school imbecile like him can read. Wow, you know my last name and I'm not even a girl you've banged. Aren't I special? I say bitterly. Oh. Our unusual conversation to come to its end. He gives me a dry laugh, no charisma laced in it. You're extra special, Gray. After all, I know not only your last name, but your beautiful first one too, he replies with a damn smirk that has me almost swooning. Girl, weren't you just saying? What? I'm sorry, editor, run the first part back, because then she say she wasn't swooning. Okay. The eyes were the same hazel color that any girl could manage to fall for. However, I knew that it would take more than pretty eyes to have me swoon. The smirk he displays is the one that makes you admit to defeat makes you want to admit defeat to. The one I personally want to slap off his pretty face. I wish he had more than just simply good looks. My thing is, I don't like it whenever an author on Wattpad says, oh, it's gonna get interesting next chapter, because that could literally, okay, that could be one of two avenues. When they say it's gonna get interesting, A, that could mean it's about to get dirty, or B, that could mean that it's just gonna be a whole bunch of plot twists that don't make sense in the moment, but they gonna make sense in a moment and the chapters to come. It's really a slippery slope when it comes to that word on this app. You don't even know him. What if he does? One for me, I asked, cutting to the chase, realizing that he wasn't planning to leave my workspace without succeeding in conversation. He doesn't say anything. He just stares at me intensely. He stares and stares while I stare back at an equal intensity. Somehow, this had become an unannounced staring contest because the moment I interrupt our stare down with a blank, he speaks. You and me, Gray. I find the urge to correct him and bring up the fact that my first name is not Gray. You and me, Gray. Let's play a game. We'll date, and in 3 months' time, I promise you will fall in love. You will fall for me. When you fall in love with me between that time span, I win. If in any way you were to win, I'll give up all the alcohol, cigarettes, and play our ways, he says rather loudly and swiftly in one breath, with a sense of seriousness in his hazel eyes. All of that being said, let's go ahead and end this video, shall we? We shall. But anyway, that is the end of this episode. If you enjoyed it, go ahead. Ooh, Lord. That is the end of this episode. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and give it a big old thumbs up and comment down below if I should do this again, because I want to do this again and I want to read the second chapter of all these books that we have just dove into. And if you want to see that, then go ahead and subscribe and let me know. But I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I will see you next Sunday. And remember that you're amazing and awesome and fantastic and beautiful or handsome and wonderful, and you are great, and never ever 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 let anybody... What? That was all over the place. Anyway, remember that you are beautiful and amazing and awesome, and never let anybody tell you any different. And remember to never, ever, 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 ever doubt your greatness. All right. Bye. All right.